At Christmas dinner, my wife decided to mock my stutter in front of her whole family. I tried to brush it off with a smile, but she looked right at me and said, "Look at him, glitching like a broken robot. Maybe if we reboot him, he'll finally speak like a real person." Her dad actually high-fived her. I didn't say anything. I just started cleaning up, their laughter echoing in my ears as I walked into the kitchen. 6 months later, she was outside my apartment, shouting up at my window like it was some kind of dramatic scene from a movie. Her sister texted me, begging, "Please, just talk to her." But that day, I spoke more clearly than I ever had before. Sarah, my wife, 27 years old, and I had been together 5 years, 3 of those as husband and wife. I've had a stutter for as long as I can remember. Some days it's barely noticeable, but when I'm anxious or under pressure, it hits harder. Sarah used to tell me she thought it was cute. She actually used the word endearing. Or at least, that's what I believed at the time. Lately, things have fell off, little red flags here and there. Sarah had become more snappy, glued to her phone, laughing at messages only to immediately flip her screen away when I got near. I figure it was just the usual holiday tension. Her family takes celebrations pretty seriously. The Christmas dinner incident. We pulled up to her parents' house on Christmas Eve. Everything seemed typical at first. Her dad, Kobe, he's 58, was glued to the football game. Her mom was busy in the kitchen. Her older sister, Emma, was there too, along with her husband. Sarah had been acting weird in the car ride over, kind of detached, obsessively checking her makeup in a visor mirror. Looking back now, that should have told me something. During dinner, someone asked about our plans for the new year. I started to answer, telling them how we were trying to save up for a tea tour out in Colorado. But my words stumbled out, my stutter flared up. Kobe always puts me on edge with his constant interruptions. And right in the middle of that, Sarah jumped in. She launched into this over-the-top, drawn-out mockery of my stutter. It wasn't just a jab. It was a full act, like she was auditioning for something. She dragged out, "We're going to see CCC Colorado," twisting her face into expressions I've never made in my life. The whole room paused for a beat, shocked. Then her dad cracked up. I tried to laugh it off. What else could I have done? I was sitting there surrounded by her family. I figured it was just a bad joke taken too far, something we could talk about in private later. But then she hit me with it. That look, a sneer, sharp and deliberate. Look at him, struggling like a broken machine. Maybe if we turn him off and on again, he'll figure out how to talk properly. And her dad, he literally slapped her a high five like she just nailed a touchdown. Her mom looked uneasy but stayed silent. Emma just stared down at her plate, not saying a word. I got up without a scene and started gathering the dishes. As I scraped leftovers into the trash, I could still hear their laughter echoing through the house. Kobe was making fun of how I didn't even have the spine to defend myself. And Sarah? She chimed in, "I know, right?" Like she hadn't just gutted me at the table. The car ride home was dead quiet. She stayed glued to her phone, smirking at whatever she was reading. Later, when I brought it up, tried to explain how it made me feel, she rolled her eyes. "It was a joke, God. You're so sensitive." She actually said, "This is why people have trouble being around you." That night, I couldn't sleep. My brain just kept running it all back, over and over again. That's when it hit me. This probably wasn't the first time she'd made fun of me, just the first time she'd done it so openly. The next morning, while Sarah was in the shower, her phone wouldn't stop buzzing. One message preview caught my eye. It was from her friend. "OMG, that video of him stuttering at dinner was hilarious. Your dad's face killed me." My stomach flipped. She had filmed me. She had actually recorded my stutter at the table and shared it. For laughs. When she came out, I asked her about it as calmly as I could. She shrugged and said, "It's just on my private story, chill out." Like that somehow made it okay. Over the next few days, I started digging. I checked our shared cloud storage where our phones back up. There was a whole album, videos of me stuttering, captions like, "Hubby, EXE has crashed," and "buffering." Her friends had commented on them. Jokes, laughing emojis, pure mockery. This wasn't a one-time thing. This had been going on for months. I found texts between her and her dad, making fun of me. Messages to her friends about how embarrassing I was in public. Even one where she told someone, "Sometimes I just tell people he has a mental disability, so they stop asking questions." What the actual hell? My exit plan? It started right then. I knew I had to get out. Like yesterday. But I also knew I couldn't just walk. I needed to do it smart. So I began collecting evidence. Screenshots, saved messages, audio recordings, the whole package. I went through all our finances, made copies of every important document, stashed it all in a small storage unit I paid for in cash. Quietly, I found a lawyer and booked a consult. She told me to keep things looking normal while I set the foundation. So that's what I've been doing lately, playing the part of the good husband while quietly setting everything up behind the scenes. I've been shifting small amounts of cash into a separate account. Nothing big enough to set off alarms. Totally legal, by the way. My lawyer confirmed it's all within fair personal spending. I've also been hunting for a new place to live, focusing on areas Sarah would never think to look. At the same time, I'm going through our stuff, figuring out what's actually mine and what we consider shared property. I've been sleeping on the couch for over a week now. Told her it was a back issue. She didn't even blink. Too busy scrolling through her phone or running around with her friends to ask questions. The hardest part? Pretending everything's fine. Smiling when she brings up vacation ideas or long-term plans. Answering her dad's calls like I'm still part of the family. Laughing when the situation demands it. All while biting my tongue about the videos, the texts, the absolute betrayal. But I'm not giving her any kind of warning. The day I walk out will be the day she realizes what she threw away. I still can't fully wrap my head around it. 5 years together, and I never saw this version of her until now. Or maybe I just didn't want to admit what was right in front of me. All those moments when she'd snap after I stuttered in public. All the headaches that came up right before we had plans with other people. The way she'd constantly cut me off and answer for me in social settings. It wasn't support, it was shame. She wasn't protecting me. She was embarrassed by me. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with a lawyer again. Our lease is almost up, just a few more weeks, and both our names are on it. I plan to be long gone before it's time to renew. I've already found a solid 1-bedroom, closer to my job. It's nothing fancy, but it feels like freedom. The landlord's laid back. Place is available next week. I could be out of here before the month's over. And I keep thinking about that Christmas dinner. Her laughter. Her dad slapping her high five. That cold, dismissive look in her eyes like I was some broken toy. I replay that moment every single night. But here's what I keep reminding myself. My stutter doesn't define me. And soon, neither will she. I'll post more when there's something new to share. Right now, I'm just focused on getting out with my dignity still intact. If anyone out there's been through something like this, I'd really appreciate hearing how you got through it. Update. First off, thank you. To everyone who commented on my last post, I read every single message, even the ones I couldn't reply to. Your support honestly kept me grounded during the most bizarre month of my life. A lot of people asked for an update. And trust me, there's been plenty. Quick recap. Sarah, 27, made fun of my stutter during Christmas dinner in front of her entire family. I found out she'd been recording my speech for months and sharing the clips with her friends. That's when I started planning my exit. What I didn't mention last time, for privacy reasons, turns out to be kind of major detail. Sarah and I both work for the same company. Not in the same building. Not even the same division most days, but under the same corporate umbrella. She got promoted recently to account manager. And no, that's not some freak coincidence. We actually met at a company happy hour 5 years ago. The plan? It's been falling into place. Remember the apartment I mentioned? I signed the lease 3 weeks ago. 1 bedroom, kind of old, but it's mine. Security deposit took a bite out of my savings, but it was worth it. I've been moving little by little when she's not around. Clothes, documents, sentimental stuff. My lawyer told me to document everything tied to our finances before I made a move. So I started taking screenshots of our joint accounts, monthly statements, credit card records. That's when I discovered something else. Sarah had been blowing through money like it grew on trees. Designer handbags, over $800 each, 4 of them just in the last couple of months, all paid for using her joint account. And then things took an unexpected turn. While collecting all this info, I noticed she'd been submitting some of those purchases to her job as business dinners. Except they weren't business dinners. They were girls' nights. I know, because I saw the same exact receipts on her joint credit card. Basically, she was double dipping, using our shared money, then submitting the charges to her company for reimbursement. Not once, not twice. I counted 18 different times over the last year. And here's where things really got interesting. Remember how we both work for the same company? Well, I'm in IT. My department handles the software used for submitting and approving those expense reports. Specifically, my coworker Maine and I manage system maintenance and provide support when accounting has issues. And guess what landed on my desk? A routine request. Sarah had submitted a ticket asking for access to edit several past expense reports. Standard protocol says we verify requests before unlocking anything. I stepped back from her specific request, had to ethics and all, but I flagged some red flags in her expense reports to my team lead, said nothing as her husband, just followed protocol like any other employee. I honestly didn't think anything serious would come of it. My lead passed it along to accounting. They did a standard audit, and yeah, they noticed a pattern. Then came the business trip. Just last week, Sarah told me she had a 3-day work thing coming up, regional meeting, about 4 hours out. She looked genuinely thrilled, told me it was a big chance to rub elbows with upper management, maybe make a name for herself. She picked out her best clothes, packed with care, and left early Thursday morning. The second her location showed, she was halfway there. I kicked off the last step of my plan. I rented a small moving truck. 3 friends helped me haul out what was left of my stuff. Everything we bought together. I left the couch, the TV, the dining table, gone are my clothes, toiletries, and gaming gear. I updated my payroll to go straight into a new account. Took half the funds from our joint one. Cleaned 50%. On the kitchen counter, I left her grandmother's ring. She never wore it anyway. I brought the cat with me. She was mine before Sarah and I ever got together. Sarah never liked her, and the cat didn't like her back. By Thursday night, it was like I'd never lived there. I even patched up the walls where my posters used to hang. Then came the financial ripple effect. The timing couldn't have aligned better, or worse for her. While she was gone, 3 things hit all at once. The first stage of the audit wrapped up. The landlord sent the lease renewal, needing both signatures, and my lawyer finalized the divorce docs. I didn't plan for all of that to collide, but sometimes the universe knows what it's doing. My lawyer told me to leave her a short, clean note. Nothing emotional. Nothing dramatic, just facts. Sarah, I've moved out and I'm filing for divorce. Please direct all communication to my lawyer. His contact is attached. I've transferred 50% of our joint funds to my new account. Everything we bought together I left behind. Jack. I also emailed the landlord, said I wasn't renewing the lease, CC'd Sarah, so she wouldn't be caught off guard. Then I waited. She got home Sunday evening, I knew, because my phone went nuts. Text from Sarah, 7:43 p.m. Where the fuck are you? Where's all your stuff? 7:47 p.m. Are you actually doing this? Well, I'm gone. Real grown-up move. 8:02 p.m. Did you just take our money? My dad says that's illegal. 8:16 p.m. Pick up the fucking phone. Jack, this isn't a joke. 19 missed calls. I didn't take any of them. Around 10, her sister Emma messaged. Jack, Sarah's really upset. I know she's tough sometimes, but isn't this a bit extreme? Can you just talk to her? I answered, Emma, thanks, but this is between Sarah and me. I'd appreciate it if you respected that. Monday morning, Sarah got pulled into a meeting with HR and her boss. I had no idea until Harper from accounting texted me. Hey, don't know if I should say anything, but there's drama in Sarah's department. Something about expense reports. Figured you might want to know. I thanked her, didn't explain, not my problem anymore. That same afternoon, the divorce papers were hand-delivered to Sarah at work. I didn't pick the timing. The service did, but yeah, getting hit with legal papers during the worst Monday of your career? Rough. It's been 3 days now. My new place feels like mine. The cat's already acting happier. More room to explore. I blocked Sarah on everything except email, just in case something legal comes up. From what I've heard through people we both know, Sarah's been suspended while they dig deeper into her expenses. She's telling people I hacked her work account to sabotage her. I didn't touch a thing. Her dad's apparently talking to a lawyer, claiming I stole from her. She's trying to explain to the landlord that she might not be able to cover rent. The texts haven't stopped. They've just changed tone. Monday night. I can't believe you humiliated me at work like that. Tuesday morning. This is about Christmas, isn't it? It was one joke, grow up. Tuesday afternoon. My dad says what you did is financial abuse. Wednesday morning. Can we please just talk? Wednesday night. I'm sorry about the stutter thing, okay? Is that what you need to hear? I haven't responded. My lawyer says I'm on solid ground. The money split was fair. I didn't take anything that wasn't mine. And I've got receipts, mockery videos, texts from her dad, everything. Do I feel even a little guilty that everything in her life basically blew up in just 3 days? Maybe, just a little. But then I picture her giggling with her dad, mocking how I speak, calling me a broken machine, sharing videos of me trying to get through a sentence. That guilt, it disappears fast. Since moving out, my speech has actually improved. I don't feel that constant fear anymore. That fear of being recorded, of being laughed at behind my back. I've been sleeping better, eating better according to my therapist. That's pretty common when you finally escape a toxic environment. So what's next? Just continuing with the divorce, sticking with therapy, and focusing on building a life that feels like mine. I'm not thinking about dating. That part of my life can wait. Right now, it's all about healing. Yeah, I know this has been a long story. A lot's happened. I'll update again only if something major goes down. Here's the final one. It's been 6 months since my last post, and honestly, I didn't think I'd be writing another. I figured that chapter was done. I'd moved out, the divorce was underway, and slowly, things were finding a new normal. Then yesterday, threw everything off. Before I get into that, thank you. Seriously, all the support I got on my earlier posts meant more than I can explain. Some of you shared stories that got me through some of the darkest days. And to those of you who stutter too, your messages hit me hard in the best way. Just knowing I wasn't alone meant everything. Life post-Sarah has been, well, a bit of transformation. Yeah, I know that sounds cliche, but whatever, it's the truth. My place finally feels like mine, decorated how I want. No one whining about my Star Wars posters or my gaming setup being in the living room. Pixel, my cat, has claimed the sunny window seat as her throne. The dishwasher's busted and the guy upstairs plays bass at the weirdest times. But this place? It's home now. I've been working with a speech therapist twice a month. Not because I think I have to fix anything, but because she's been teaching me how to handle stress better, breathing techniques, grounding tools, ways to stay in control when my speech locks up. It's made a huge difference. Work's been good too. I got put on a new project that lets me work from home 3 days a week. My team lead, Harper, she's great, even invited me out for a birthday last month. Nothing wild, just drinks at a bar, but it felt good to be around people again, people who aren't part of Sarah's world or even my old world. The divorce is moving, slowly but steadily. The legal system's a snail, but at least it's crawling in the right direction. Sarah fought it at first, then went quiet. Her lawyer kept pinging mine with little negotiation attempts, but nothing major. We're probably about a month away from wrapping it up now. Oh, and I joined a gym. Nothing intense. Just going 3 times a week doing the basics. Lost 12 pounds already, and I sleep better than I have in years. It's amazing how your body responds when you're not carrying someone else's chaos. As for Sarah, from what I've pieced together through mutuals and a few updates from my lawyer, she didn't just get suspended, she was fired. She tried blaming me, said I hacked her account, but the evidence was against her. At some point, she moved back in with her parents. Yeah, ouch, she did eventually land another job, but it's a definite downgrade. Her dad kept threatening legal action for a while, but apparently, his lawyer told him there wasn't a case to pursue. Sarah's still blocked on everything except email. My lawyer said I should keep that open for divorce communication, but I've been getting texts from random numbers that were clearly her. March 12th. Jack, please just talk to me. I'm not okay. April 3rd. I lost my job because of you. Hope you're happy. April 17th. My dad says you planned this from day one. Was Christmas just an excuse? I didn't reply to any of them. Just kept everything saved and sent it straight to my lawyer. Her sister, Emma, reached out a couple of times too. At first, she was clearly on Sarah's side. Long texts about how families should work things out, how everyone messes up. But lately, her tone changed. About 2 months ago, her messages got shorter. She stopped defending Sarah. Last month, she even apologized for staying silent during that Christmas dinner when Sarah mocked me in front of everyone. And then there was yesterday. I had a pretty average Saturday. Got up, made some coffee, played a bit of Elden Ring while doing laundry around 2 in the afternoon. I ordered pizza and settled in for a quiet evening with that new sci-fi show everyone keeps raving about. At 6:18 p.m., I checked my phone. Then the pounding started. Not knocking, full-on pounding, like someone was trying to break the door down. I peeked through the peephole and my stomach dropped. There she was, Sarah, jeans, wrinkled shirt, makeup streaked like she'd been crying for hours. I didn't open the door, just froze. My heart was racing. She called out my name over and over. Neighbors definitely heard it. I didn't know what to do, so I walked away from the door, turned off the sound on the TV, sat on the couch, just waited in silence, hoping she'd go away. But she didn't leave. The knocking stopped eventually, but then I heard her voice again, this time coming from outside my living room window. I live on the second floor, so she must have gone around the building to stand near the balcony. There she was, shouting up at my apartment, calling my name, saying she needed to talk, saying it was urgent, saying she was sorry. I shut the blinds. A second later, my phone buzzed. Emma, 6:32 p.m. Jack, Sarah's having a rough day. Her new boyfriend's been cheating on her, and I think she's spiraling. Is she with you? Me. Yeah, she's outside, yelling at my window right now. Emma, 6:34 p.m. Go, I'm sorry. She stormed out of my place about an hour ago. I tried to stop her. 6:35 p.m. Can you just talk to her for a minute? I'm really scared she might do something reckless. Me. That's not my responsibility anymore, Emma. 6:37 p.m. She's been in therapy. She knows she messed up. Please, Jack, just 5 minutes. I'm heading over, but I'm still 20 minutes out. I just stared at her messages, her voice still drifting up from outside, while the neighbors got front row seats to the drama. Then I did something I hadn't done in half a year. I slid the window open. She looked up. Her face was streaked with mascara, eyes red and puffy, and for a second, just a split second, I felt that old urge, that reflex to comfort her, to fix things. But then all I could hear in my head was the laughter, the mockery, broken machine, the videos. She jumped right into it, apologies spilling out, telling me therapy opened her eyes, that she finally understood how cruel she'd been, that losing her job and going through the divorce had brought her back down to earth. She said she missed me, that her new relationship was a disaster, that nobody ever understood her like I did. And then she said something that made me laugh out loud. Actually laugh. She said she'd never find anyone as patient and kind as me again. Patient. That word stuck with me, as if my biggest strength was how much I tolerated her behavior. And here's what really surprised me. I didn't stutter, not once. Every word came out calm and clear, no hesitation, no fear. I told her yes, I was patient while she made fun of me behind my back, patient while she filmed me struggling to speak, patient while she and her dad laughed at me like I was some joke at Christmas dinner. And I told her I was done being patient, that her apology didn't land, because it wasn't for what she did, it was for what she lost. She wasn't sorry for the pain she caused, she was just sorry she had to face the fallout. I told her the divorce would be finalized soon, and that this awkward little moment of her yelling up at me like some romantic comedy gone wrong will be the last time we'd ever speak. Her face changed, the tears turned cold. She called me cruel, accused me of enjoying this, said I got off on watching her suffer, said I planned her getting fired just to get back at her. And that's when I shut the window and pulled the blinds. 20 minutes later, Emma texted me again. She'd picked Sarah up, they were gone. She apologized again for all of it. The next morning, I woke up feeling lighter. Yeah, lighter sounds odd, but it fits. It was the first time I'd said everything I needed to say out loud, with no stutter, no second guessing, no fear. My therapist always said that my stutter tends to flare up in moments of anxiety and judgment, but standing there, looking down at the woman who caused me so much pain, I didn't feel either, just clarity and closure. The divorce is set to be finalized in 3 weeks. I booked time off afterward to visit my parents. First vacation I've had in 2 years. Is everything perfect now? Of course not. I still trip over my words sometimes, and my kitchen sink's still leaking no matter what I try. But I'm moving forward. To everyone who's stuck with me through this whole mess, thank you. Your support helped more than you probably realize.